Can perennials really come back every year in a pot? Yes, but only if you solve one specific problem that almost nobody at the garden centre will tell you about. Most perennials die in containers not because of the cold itself, but because the roots freeze solid. In the ground, the surrounding earth insulates the roots. In a pot, there is nothing between those roots and the winter air. The fix comes down to two things: choosing varieties rated 2 hardiness zones colder than your actual zone and using a frost-proof container. Do both, and the same perennial comes back in that same pot every spring. These 15 are the ones that do it best. What surprises me about this topic, and I've seen it come up constantly, is how many gardeners assume perennials just don't work in pots. Guess what? They do. The University of Minnesota Extension actually recommends choosing container perennials rated 1 to 2 hardiness zones colder than your local zone, precisely because pot soil freezes far faster than ground soil in winter. The gardeners who struggle with this are usually using the wrong varieties, the wrong pots, or both. If you're working with a balcony, patio, or small outdoor space and want plants that come back without the replanting, subscribe to the channel. And drop a comment below. What's your biggest container gardening challenge right now? Full sun, deep shade, cold winters? We read and reply to every single comment. 3 groups by like condition, because that's the variable that matters most for container plant selection. Let's start with the sun lovers. Plant number 1, Echinacea. What most people don't realize is that the same deep taproot that makes it drought tolerant in the ground actually helps it in a container. It reaches down for moisture rather than depending on the surface soil that dries out fast. Use a pot at least 12 inches deep. Blooms all summer, comes back every year, and the seed heads feed birds through winter even on a balcony. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. According to the Missouri Botanical Garden, Echinacea is one of the most adaptable native perennials for container use precisely because of that root structure. It doesn't need a wide pot, just a deep one. Plant number 2, Rudbeckia, golden yellow flowers from July through September. One thing I'd emphasize here, use a wide container rather than a narrow, tall one. Rudbeckia spreads laterally, and the extra root room makes the difference between a plant that survives and one that genuinely thrives. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. Plant number 3, Salvia nemorosa. Here's something I find genuinely interesting. In a container, the confined root space actually focuses the plant's energy into flowers rather than foliage. 2 bloom cycles per season with 1 cutback. Hardy in zones 4 through 9. Compact enough to share a large pot with another sun-loving perennial. Plant number 4, Coreopsis, gives you the longest bloom window of anything on this sun list. May through September in most climates. 4 months from a single planting. Naturally drought tolerant, which matters because pots dry out faster than garden beds. A 10 to 12 inch pot is plenty. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. Plant number 5, Sedum Stonecrop. The most container adapted plant on this list, technically not just as a compliment. The succulent leaves store water internally, so they handle the drying conditions of a pot better than almost any other perennial. Works in small pots, shallow bowls, even crevices. Blooms August through October. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. Quick pause here. If this is helping you figure out what actually works for your specific space, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments, full sun balcony or shady patio. We reply to every comment. Plant number 6, Astilbe. The standout choice for a shaded container. Feathery plumes in pink, red, white, or purple in early to midsummer. What to know about Astilbe in a pot? It needs consistent moisture. If the soil dries out completely, the foliage scorches. Unlike most of the other plants on this list, this one doesn't tolerate neglect on the watering front. Hardy in zones 3 through 8. Use a pot that retains moisture well. Plant number 7, hellebore. Something that often gets missed. This plant blooms in February and March, while everything else is dormant. A pot planted with hellebore is the only container garden that has flowers in the middle of winter. Evergreen foliage keeps it looking attractive year-round. Hardy in zones 4 through 9. Give it a large pot, at least 14 inches, because it strongly resents being moved once established. One note that matters. all parts of hellebore are toxic to dogs and cats. The ASPCA Animal Poison Control Centre lists it as toxic to both, so placement near pets is worth thinking through before you plant. Plant number 8, Coral Bells Heuchera. What I find most impressive about this plant in a container is the consistency. It looks spectacular every month of the year, not just when blooming. The foliage in burgundy, lime green, caramel and silver is the show. Delicate flower spikes in summer are a bonus. Hardy in zones 4 through 9. Compact, well-behaved, pairs beautifully with almost anything. Plant number 9. Hostas, the most architectural shade plant you can put in a large container. Bold foliage in green, blue-green, gold, and variegated patterns that fills the pot with presence all season. Goes dormant in winter and comes back reliably in spring. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. Minimum 16-inch wide container. Hostas need root room to perform properly. Slugs can be a problem. A ring of copper tape around the pot rim stops them cleanly. Plant number 10. Liriope, grass-like foliage that stays attractive year-round. Evergreen in mild climates, with purple flower spikes in late summer. What Liriope does in a container that nothing else quite replicates is provide structure and tidiness in every season, including the months when nothing else is happening. Hardy in zones 5 through 10. Plant number 11. Creeping phlox in a container does something visually unique. In April and May, it cascades over the edges and down the sides of the pot, a waterfall of pink, purple, white, or magenta flowers. After it blooms, the evergreen mat stays in place and softens the pot edge all year. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. Perfect for window boxes and wall-mounted planters where the trailing habit can be seen from below. Plant number 12. Catmint does the same trailing thing as creeping phlox, but in summer, which means you can plant them together in the same window box and get continuous spilling colour from April through August. 2 full bloom rounds per season. Hardy in zones 3 through 8. For containers, look for compact varieties. Little Titch or Walker's Low stay tidy without taking over. Plant number 13. Veronica provides vertical interest without taking up much horizontal space. Exactly what a narrow window box or balcony planter needs. Slender spikes in blue, purple or white from early summer through fall, with a second flush after cutting back. Hardy in zones 3 through 8. Pairs perfectly with trailing catmint or creeping phlox at the edges of the same container. Plant number 14. Yarrow in a container, but specifically named compact cultivars, not the wild species. Firefly Sunshine or Strawberry Seduction stay upright without flopping. Flat-topped flower clusters from late spring through midsummer. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. One of the most drought-tolerant options here, which means it handles the fast-drying conditions of a pot better than most. Plant number 15. Agastache closes the list with something I think is genuinely remarkable. Hummingbirds will find these fragrant spikes even on a city balcony, midsummer through fall. Hardy in zones 5 through 10. No deadheading, drought-tolerant once established, and the dried spikes stay ornamental through winter. Minimum 14-inch pot for best performance. 15 perennials, all proven in containers, all coming back every year without replanting, if you follow 2 rules. Rule 1, pot material. Thin plastic and cheap terracotta both crack in freeze-thaw cycles. When the pot cracks, root insulation is gone. Use thick-walled fiberglass, heavy ceramic, or frost-proof terracotta specifically rated for cold climates. The pot is not the place to cut costs. Rule 2. Drainage. Every plant on this list, except Astilbe, needs excellent drainage. Roots sitting in waterlogged soil overwinter rot before the cold even becomes the problem. Always use a pot with drainage holes. Never leave a saucer collecting standing water under the pot in winter. Add a layer of gravel at the bottom before filling. Follow those 2 rules, choose from this list, and your containers come back every spring. Subscribe to the channel and drop a comment below, telling us which plants you're planning to try and what zone you're in. We reply to every single comment. See you soon.